Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Learn English with Orwell. This is episode 2. Just a brief recap of what happened in the last episode. We got logged into this Orwell system for the first time with our character here, Learn English Man. And we started to make a profile. We profiled this person named Cassandra Watergate, and we learned some stuff about her. We learned that she is the daughter of some pharmaceutical company executives, and that she is the suspect in this terrorist act that we're trying to catch. That's actually pretty much all we learned. We learned a little bit more about the world of Orwell, too, that we are some sort of government surveillance program. We get to decide who to put behind bars, who to arrest, based on the data that we give the Orwell system so that they can prosecute. Before we go much further, I do want to add, after the last episode, I've decided this is probably a pretty advanced series for English, so I'll label that as such on YouTube. But don't feel bad if you're having trouble keeping up with this one. There's a lot of text to read. I do my best to explain everything, but there's lots of legal terms, lots of formal writing in this game. And so it's not going to be a lot of vocabulary that you're super familiar with if you've been mostly focusing on learning how to speak just naturally in a conversation between people. However, it is useful stuff to learn. It's useful English to learn. And this could be a good barometer, this video, for how close you are to becoming fully fluent. The easier these kind of videos are to learn. I myself am learning Spanish, and the hardest subjects are the ones where you don't get enough exposure to the language. So videos like this can help with that, because this type of pretty formal language is hard to get exposed to if you're just watching videos of people speaking or watching television shows where people don't use as fancy of a language. So, okay, let's get into it. Logging in. Let's see where we left off. Okay, we have our relationship map here. We've got the people, her parents, Bruno and Alice. Her boyfriend slash lawyer, so he's both here. Let's go to the reader. Okay, yeah, we had a few more things to read. So anything with a red star here is something we need to read. So let's click this one that says project. Okay, this is the safety bill that we were looking at briefly. We read this part. The Parge's peacekeeping mission. So a peacekeeping mission is, it's kind of like what the UN does, where they send people to war-torn countries involved in war, and help them provide food, provide medicine, try to get people to safety if they're in a dangerous area where lots of gunfighting and bombs and stuff is happening. It's called a peacekeeping mission. Let's read here. The terrorist incident of 2008 was the terrible consequence of the premature retreat of our troops from Parges, a region torn by civil unrest for years by the order of the previous government. So this is a pretty common term, this torn by civil unrest or torn by war. War torn. It just means that an area that's been destroyed. Torn means to like tear. Like when you tear paper or something. So war-torn means it's like ripped apart by war. Parges appears to be the country that they were talking about in the last episode. To fix our predecessors' mistakes, the party, when elected in 2009, immediately made preparations to send our highly reliable soldiers back to safeguard the region for the good of the inhabitants of both countries alike. Okay, so this particular peacekeeping mission, they also sent soldiers. That does happen sometimes. They installed soldiers in this country to try to settle the civil unrest. After the Partis peacekeeping mission had been signed in 2011, our troops were sent off to the neighboring country to perform tasks including the distribution of aid packages containing food in addition to health and hygiene products, mostly to the mostly impoverished population. So the population is mostly impoverished, which means to be in poverty, to be poor. These aid packages or something, what I was talking about. They have food and medicine. The rebuilding of infrastructure, particularly hospitals and schools. So they're rebuilding infrastructure. It refers to the structure of a society. So hospitals, schools are two of the things, but also roads, just buildings in general, supermarkets, places where people can buy food, just trying to rebuild that because these kind of things get destroyed in wars and then it makes society unable to function. Upholding the law and public order alongside the removal of war relics such as anti-personnel mines or unexploded bombshells. So war relics is a relic is something that's old. So these are leftover things from other wars that are still dangerous, like a bomb sitting on the side of the street. It hasn't blown up, but it's still dangerous. People can't go near it. Training local police and military forces. So they're trying to train them so that they don't have to be there forever. They can try to get the police and military of Parges to do their job. Due to a recent stabilization in the Parges, we have been able to reduce the number of station forces while leaving the overall goals of the peacekeeping mission intact. Okay. Let's click on these, because is there anything else we need to know here? These are their values. 5 pillars for a great nation. So pillars are like the stone pieces that hold up like a building. Like it's hard to explain, but they're like giant. They're usually made of stone or concrete poles, and they hold up the roof of a building. And so the pillars that hold up the nation is what they're saying. Safety and security. We firmly believe in strict safety regulations and mechanisms to preserve the life and well-being of every individual. Economy and commerce. A strong economy equals a strong society. This is why we strive for constant, healthy growth. Commerce refers to like buying and selling. Values and tradition. Our cultural origins as well as the significance of family and communal life must be cherished. Migration and foreign affairs. Gating immigration from and intervening in foreign countries are necessities to uphold law and order in our own. So they're saying that stopping people, gating is in like a gate is something that you open. They're saying we're stopping that. We're gating people, or stopping them at the gate. So stopping people from coming into the country, and then foreign affairs are like intervening in other countries, going to other countries and messing with them. Education and health. Rock solid education and healthcare systems are the foundations of a great future. Okay. We got people. Okay, here we go. Leaders of the nation. Robert Blaine is the prime minister. Leader of the nation. Prime Minister Blaine is much remarkable visionary as unmatched leader, is a member of the party in the 4th generation. When the surprising death of the previous leader of the party, Mrs. Goddard, left behind a power vacuum, it was the young Robert Blaine who stepped up and was elected as the new head unanimously. So a power vacuum, when someone in power dies, like say the president or a prime minister dies and there's no one to step up in his stead, what happens is a vacuum. So a vacuum is where things they're sucked out and there's nothing left behind, and vacuums attract things. So all these people are trying to become the most powerful person now, and they're all circling around. And so he came out of nowhere and was elected, and unanimously, meaning every single person elected him. No one said no, everyone said yes. Just as in this exemplary case, Mr. Blaine will take initiative whenever possible and is sure not to relent until the party's ambitious goals have been achieved. Okay. Exemplary means like of the highest order, or the best of the best. If someone is an exemplary student, they're the best student in class, for instance. Arthur Scott Gallagher, Secretary of Economy and Trade. Do we need to know any of this? I'm not sure that. We'll just look through these really quickly. Secretary of Economy and Trade. Mr. Gallagher, one of the most seasoned members of the party, is in charge of the Ministry of Economy and Trade. As such, he is directly responsible for reduced tax levels for big and medium-sized corporations, as well as resulting decline in the unemployment rate. So he's in charge of the economy, essentially, and taxes and business, stuff like that. Catherine Delacroix, Secretary of Security. The Ministry of Security, dedicated to the purpose of improving the nation's safety on the interior, so inside the nation, was formed directly after the elections in 2009, just as originally proposed by Catherine Delacroix. Mrs. Delacroix was subsequently granted the position of the first Secretary of Security. She is best known for the inception of the safety bill. So this means she wrote the safety bill, elevating security standards in the country to a new level. Peter Faulkner, Secretary of Defense. So we have these in the U.S. too. Secretary of Security is someone, Homeland Security, it's inside the nation, and then defense is going to be outside the nation, from without the nation. The commander-in-chief of the nation's forces does not tire to stress the importance of stability in the nation's neighboring countries. To that end, Mr. Faulkner created the Parges peacekeeping mission, so he made that thing we just read, which played a key role in the prevention of terrorist activity occurring on nation's soil. Okay. And we got to participate here. This is how you participate. There are many ways in which you can contribute to the nation's success. Becoming involved with the party is a huge one. If you are willing to give your all for a brighter future of the nation and consequently all of the world, come and join us. Donate, that means give money. As always, grateful for donations of any amount. Your gift will be directly help the party to continue its course to build a stable, safe, and positively conservative nation. Volunteer, that means work without pay. Support a local group of volunteers to get in touch with the nation's leaders and champion the topics that matter the most for you and your family. Become a member, so that you can pay an annual fee and you become a member of the party. Being a member of the party is a life-altering calling, as you will represent the party in political matters on a communal or national level. Get in touch and apply to us. Join the army of the nation, and you can join the army, become a soldier. The party is a big promoter of direct services to the homeland. If you think you have it in you to defend the freedom of the nation in foreign countries and help stabilize them, get enlisted now. So to get enlisted means to join the army. Okay. So we have all that. We have to explore the Watergate Pharmaceuticals Company more. Let's go here. We already read this. Oh, I have a new portrait we can add. So this is, we're not sure. Is that actually the same person? They do look quite different. See, they look very different. She has blue hair in this photo. And this is probably her actual natural hair color. She probably dyed it when she quit. So this is probably, we'll keep this one because I think that's more what she looks like now. Okay. Here we go. Jobs. So companies will often list jobs that you can get for them on their website. So Watergate Pharmaceuticals is currently looking for suitable candidates for the following positions. Please address all applicants to Josephine Marquardt, head of HR at jobs@watergate./pharma.tna. Okay, so they're hiring for COO, which is, we know she was the COO right here. We're urgently looking for, urgently means like we need to do it now. It needs to happen now. We're looking for a chief operating officer to replace the retired, formerly appointed predecessor. Let's add that to our file. Or maybe I was wrong and nothing stays in the family. So she was let go or fired, or let go means fired, or she quit. So I'm not sure. This is probably what she meant about quitting her job. Okay. Currently, I'm thinking that our Miss Watergate underwent quite a radical change. Don't you agree? Yeah, she looks different. Let's find out what happened in between these two lives of hers. What may have caused this radical shift? So, yeah, something happened. I don't think we need to read all this. It doesn't really matter what that job is about. We need to find out, yes, more about... So, we know that she used to be a COO of Watergate Pharmaceuticals. Then something happened, and now she has blue hair. She is apparently bombing places, and so she's a radical now. That means someone who is commits acts of terror and stuff like that. So what happened? We need to find out what happened in the middle. Okay, let's go to her timeline. This is like a Facebook, I think. It's a social media profile. Status, you're invited to tea inside the rabbit hole. So here's another, this is another reference to Alice in Wonderland, where Alice falls down the rabbit hole and drinks tea. Okay. Pop artist and free thinker is her tagline. This is called a tagline. Her birthday, September 13th, 1992. Let's add that. Okay. Place of residence, NA. NA, when you see this, it means not applicable, which means nothing, basically. She doesn't have a place of residence. So, or she didn't put it on her profile because she wants it to remain private. Interests, art, music, activism. Okay. Art, music, activism. What a lineup. So activism is protest and like fighting against the government, or fighting for. It doesn't have to be against the government. It could be anything really. You could be an animal rights activist like PETA, where they want to save animals from being killed, or you could be anti-government activist like she is, where you're protesting the government. Okay, her likes, the targets. I assume this is a band because it's a guy playing a guitar. Painting. Alice in Wonderland, there we go. This is the book Alice in Wonderland. And her cat, Kiko. My cat, Kikiko. It's a weird word name. Okay. And then here's some of her posts. March 1st, 2017 at 11:01 a.m. Woohoo! First day in freedom, far away from the shackles of Watergate Pharma. So shackles are like handcuffs, like when prisoners were taken in, they would have their hands tied with shackles. 12 likes, 2 comments. Jake Clefton says, what? Who's going to pay for your stuff now? Mommy and Daddy won't like this, XD. XD is meant to, it's an emoji is what we call this. It's supposed to look like someone's face. It's not an actual word. It's an emoji. And then she replied, listen, Jake, I am not Daddy's little girl anymore. My art already got me a lot of money, more than enough to pay all my bills. Don't you worry about me. So this phrase is pretty common, Daddy's little girl. Refers to women who are close with their father, and their father kind of protects them and pays for everything for them, and doesn't let them do a lot of stuff. They're like, this is my daughter, you're not going anywhere. So she's trying to get out of her dad's shadow. Okay, another post here on January 29th. So a couple of years later, no, this is earlier, 2 months earlier. Despised puppets of the state. You have finally managed to destroy us entirely. There is nothing left to do but congratulate you. These are my personal wishes to you from the deepest of business of my heart. F all you government lackeys. I'm not going to say this just in case YouTube has a problem with it, but we know what that word means. A government lackey is someone who works for the government and just does whatever they say. They're just mindless, and they just work for the government, do what they're told, and that's it. They're like soldiers. Let's add this. So she doesn't like the government. Well, well, Miss Watergate, we aren't too fond of you either. Okay. We got some other stuff here. Mary Bly commented on this post. Sweetie, what is the matter? That totally doesn't sound like you. We haven't hung out for ages. You got to get out from time to time. You'd feel much better. So to hang out is to just like go and spend time with someone. Mary, shut your freaking mouth, okay? I am not in the mood for your stupid act. I told you again and again, I cannot deal with this right now. She's being very aggressive. Okay, you know what? I am really sorry that I still care about my best friend, no matter how often she decides to give me the cold shoulder. But in that case, that's in the past now. So she's saying they used to be really good friends, and they seem to not be anymore. What's the conflicting data chunk? With an unknown data chunk. Is there something else here? I don't know. Let's add this. Oh, okay. It says we haven't found the conflicting data chunk yet, so we shouldn't add this yet because it conflicts with something we haven't found yet. Okay. Okay, we're going backwards in time here because now we're in 2016. These were in 2017, but she put her in a relationship with Joseph Langley. So let's add that. We already knew that. With her lawyer. Might be noteworthy. Okay. Okay, August 10th, 2016. The Beholder actually wrote about me being freaking redeemed of this shit. But surprise, surprise, they had to mention the speculations over my parents buying me out. Makes the click counts go boom, doesn't it? So click counts are like when you click on stuff and you get more views. Yeah, so we already read this article. At least you're redeemed now. Want to blow off steam together with a little late night shopping tour? Not today. I have a date this evening. Ooh, who is the lucky one? Okay, so this is case closed. That means that we already saw this in the last episode. She was accused of throwing that brick and hitting the officer in the head, but her parents seem to have manipulated the outcome and got her off, and that's called case closed. Is when the case is when a case is shut and it's all over with. Congratulations, I never had any doubts about it. And then someone named Harrison O'Donnell. Kiddo, you're my heroine in both the heroic and the drug way. So this is a pun. So a heroine is the female way, a female version of a hero. It's the same word, but it's the feminine version. But heroin, if you take the E off here, if you do like that, heroin is a drug you inject and you get high. And this guy looks like he might be like a rock star or something. 1,000 cams on the plaza, but no proof. We've shown the world this dirty surveillance machinery only exists to intimidate and to mislead the people into believing false promises. Cams for safety, one big lie. Wow, I'm so happy for you. I knew everything would be okay in the end. Shall we have an awesome Cassandra Freedom Party on Friday? Juliet Carrington. Thank you guys. I'm so happy. And this is another emoji. It's supposed to be like a person smiling. I am sure you heard the load fall off of my mind. So having a load fall off means like you're very relieved. You're like, oh, thank goodness. So it literally means like you have a load and then you take it off and now you're like, whew, I'm not carrying that heavy thing anymore. Yeah, I'd totally write an article on our blog. I will totally write an article on our blog. Of course, I'm so in. So these are ats. So when you put an at Harrison, she's replying to him, and an at Juliet replying to her. Here's a new portrait. I don't know if we can add that, I guess. I don't know if there's anything else we really need. Let me scroll really quick here. Oh, okay, there is stuff to there here. July 6, 2016. That concert was amazing. So amazing. She's just spelling it weird, but it just is amazing. Amazing that I just had to give my hair a little makeover. So without further ado, how do you like it? So 2016 is when she changed her hair to be blue. Oh my God, what happened to your beautiful hair? Why didn't you ask me before going to a stylist? We could have gone together. A stylist is someone who cuts hair and like makes it up for you. Cassie's gone punk. Did mommy and daddy agree with that? So punk is a style. It's like a alt against society kind of style. They usually have colored hair. They wear leather jackets, and a lot of punk music is pretty popular, such as like the Clash and Green Day, bands like that. Looks nice. That's a whole new you. You'll also need a new name then. What about catharsis? This is a really terrible pun. So catharsis, the word catharsis means like to be relieved of something. Like if a session of therapy is cathartic, it means you're like, oh, it took a load. It's the same thing, like taking a load off. This is a terrible pun. That's clever. Me likey. So henceforth, Cassandra shall now be known in the world as Catharthith. I don't think we need to change her name. This could be like a handle she goes by, though. Let's add this. An alias name. You know people on the web. So many names, so many identities. So an alias is a false name or a code name for someone. A lot of people online don't use their real name. They use a fake name, and that's an alias. It's always good to record every alias. Then we can match data chunks to target persons whenever they are using them. That's the spirit, kiddo. Now I'd like to invite you to our little activist group if you want to join us. Would be nice to have you with us for the protest on the Freedom Plaza on Friday. So this guy potentially is suspicious. He's inviting her to their activist group, and they're going to have a protest at the Freedom Plaza. And it looks like at that Freedom Plaza is where she throws the brick. An activist group. Is there anything more specific? Doesn't look like it. Okay. And then here, this new band, The Targets. Man, they rock hard. They're playing a concert in the Cell next week. Who's coming? I am Mary. I'm looking at you. And then she says, punk's not really my style. Sorry, Cass. Can't we just go see Cherry Cheeks sometime? I'm guessing Cherry Cheeks is another band. They are not just some punks. Their lead singer is real cutie, and they have this cool guitarist girl. Plus, they've got a message. What's not to like? No, sorry. It's not for me. Bah, alrighty. You're the one missing out. I'll have them all for myself then. So I'm thinking this Mary Bly girl, they were really good friends, and then Cassandra got involved with this band, and then she's like, whoa, I'm not a punk. I don't want to do anything crazy. So is this the conflicting data chunk? Yeah. I think that Mary is no longer her best friend. Here it says they went on a shopping tour with Mary, my best friend, but you really should consider paying a visit to your hairstylist soon, darling. She's giving her a joke. I think this other one is more relevant. She's not. They have a broken friendship. That's what I'm going to put. How sad. So they were best friends before in the past, but they're not anymore because she looks like she got involved with anti-government protests. Okay. Let's go to the listener. We got something, a new chat session to listen in on. Joseph Langley, ... Oh, that means typing, like they're typing. Hey, did you hear about the Freedom Plaza bombing? Yeah, don't remind me. You know I have a history with that place. We know she was there. Already effing me up enough that I have to catch a bus from there every day. Too many bad memories, and now I was there just moments before this happened. Interesting. So she's saying she has to take a bus there every day. So maybe her being there was a coincidence. Meaning her presence there before the bombing could be a coincidence after all. I'll reserve my thoughts until you find more evidence. Okay. Ooh, I never should have gone to that damn protest. Darling, you don't need to justify yourself to anybody, especially not to me. I was so happy when Goldfels accepted me into thought. I desperately wanted to go to prove my worth to the cause. Thought. So this must be the protest group they were talking about. It's called Thought. Let's put it in here. An activist group called Thought. Interesting. Maybe this is what influences her. And who is Godel? Who is Goldfels, not Godel. We should find something that shows her current attitude and see if we're following the right person. Okay, they're still talking. Think of it this way. If you had not gone to the protest, then you never would have been wrongfully indicted, and then we would have never met. So to be wrongfully indicted means that you're accused of a crime that you didn't commit. Yeah, and I would not have been called a terrorist in all the papers. You are not a terrorist, okay? Ain't I? You sure? Ain't I is the same thing as aren't I. It's just a more slang way of saying aren't I. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, damn it. What? Your card's not working here. Can't buy anything. Have you gone bankrupt or something? So we froze her card earlier. Unless you went on a serious shopping spree, there should be plenty of money on there. I guess we'll have to go without wine then. Here's the thing. I've got an important appointment tonight. It's surprisingly out of schedule, and I can't postpone it. You've got to be kidding me. It means like, what do you mean? It must be a joke. I'm very sorry, darling. We'll see each other tomorrow. You always have an appointment. See, so this is a common spelling error in texting because the on most keyboards, this exclamation point and the one are the same button. So sometimes people mispress it when they're shifting, and it creates a one. Appointment here, appointment there, appointment everywhere. This lady likes to cuss. How can you constantly do this to me? Here's another. She misspelled constantly. Darling, please calm down. Have you taken your Methorin? Yes, damn it. Is the only thing that matters to you that I'm on effing happy pills all day? So this is not even grammatically correct. She's spelling things wrong because she's so mad. Let's add that she's on Methorin. Wait, what's this Methorin? Can you look that up for me, please? Okay. Darling, please, it's nothing like that, and you know it. He's like, please calm down. So I keep my mouth shut whenever you leave me hanging. If I don't show up at this appointment, I risk losing my very important client. Fine. Don't you understand that? Oh, no, I totally understand. Don't you risk losing that very important client of yours now. She's being sarcastic. Cassie, don't be like that. I get it. I guess I'm just not as an important client anymore. Oh, come on, Cassie. So she's pouting. She's like, I'm so sad. Going home now in case I'm getting up on that priority list of yours anytime soon. Please. And then they stop talking. Okay. Let's go to the reader. Yeah, we need to go back to pharmaceuticals and add this Methorin. It's an antidepressant. We already read this, but now we need to add it to the profile. She might be emotionally unstable if she's reliant on this medication. Looking at what you've extracted so far, we're dealing with a potentially dangerous personality. I will indicate that to law enforcement. Okay. Here's something called The Thought. It's a website. The thoughts are free. If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. Quote from George Orwell. So that implies that we are in reality. We're just in the future where things have changed because George Orwell was a real person in this reality. Okay. Okay, here we go. We got a lot of entries. I don't know what we should click on first. I guess entry 1. Nope. Okay. These are archived, I think, which means they can't be. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the only one we can click. Published 2016 in September by. Oh, here we go. Here's this. Oops. This is her handle, Kesarthis. It's cams everywhere. Cams meaning cameras. Even at the Freedom Plaza. Is it just me or is that more than just a little bit? I don't know. Ironic. That makes sense. It's called the Freedom Plaza, but they just have cameras watching everyone, so it's like there's no freedom at the Freedom Plaza. Okay, well. You probably all know me as either that blue-haired punk bitch, ooh, these are some strong words. Stupid C word. This refers to a woman's reproductive organs. It's a very bad word. Don't say that word. Or anti-governmental terrorists. These are only some of the names I've been called during the criminal investigation against me. That was just because in the middle of the chaos, someone believed to have seen me hurt a police officer. It never even occurred to anybody that it wasn't me. We were there because we wanted a peaceful protest. We have always been against violence. Conflict with an unknown data chunk. Okay. One would assume that in an age where there are cams everywhere, it should be easy to prove whether I was at all involved or not. But it wasn't. It took weeks of investigative custody to figure out that the cam footage was actually not clearly showing anything at all. Which raises the question, why are there so many cams in the first place? The answer is intimidation only. You keep calm, quiet, and careful when there are cameras around, or you fear that there are cameras where you cannot see. When founding this blog years ago, Abraham predicted pretty much this for all of the web, and now it's in our real lives too. What's this? Okay, this is a link to that. Hold on. We'll go to that in a second. So he's basically saying, if the cameras work so well, why couldn't they see her either throwing the brick or not throwing the brick? They couldn't see anything. So the cameras don't do anything except scare people. We have been brought to the Freedom Memorial since we were kids at school. We were told lavish tales about the founders of the nation, told to show national pride. And I know what you're thinking now. This thing is damn ugly. What is that donut even? The Let Freedom Ring? But the statement behind this ridiculously enormous heap of stone should be clear. In the middle of the Capitol, there is a symbol of freedom. Comprehensible symbolism for everyone, isn't it? With the cameras there, this is now the plaza of unfreedom, if anything at all. Okay. If we go to this lets us go to that article we couldn't find. Our Thoughts Free, published by Goldfells. This guy is the leader, I think. I propose to consider the question, are our thoughts still free? While this might seem to be a surprising question, in our current world of ever-growing digital surveillance, freedom of thoughts is no longer self-evident. So this is very political and kind of philosophical, the way he's speaking. But he's asking, are thoughts still free? Like, can you still think freely if everything you have to do, everything, the way you act is being watched by everyone? Can you still even think for free if you have to make sure you're not doing anything incorrect? This is that German folk song, The Thoughts Are Free. It goes like this. I don't know if we need to read all this. I think it's a political manifest. I'm not going to read it all because it takes a while to read these things. However, I will really quickly, I'll pause it here just really quick if you want to pause the video and read it yourself. I don't think there's anything relevant for the video game, though, because I'm not seeing any data chunks. And then I'll scroll down. Yeah, this is just a political manifest. And someone says, you've just gained yourself your first follower, being like, hey, thanks. So this is a while ago, 2012. This was 5 years ago. Okay, so nothing really to glean from any of this. However, I noticed that we could click on his profile. He's the administrator. Last login, December 2016. So he hasn't logged in a while. Okay, I don't think there's anything else for us on this website. Let's go back. Go to Cassandra's timeline. She has a new post, I think. Yes. Cassandra posted April 13th, 2017. That's today. Ha! Finally, someone who has the grit and explosives to show how futile surveillance is. What's the conflict here? Okay, so she either, in 2016, over a year ago, she published, "We wanted a peaceful protest. We've always been against violence." But here she was like celebrating someone blowing up the plaza, which means she is for violence. So we have to decide right now if we think she's a violent person or a peaceful person. If you look at this, this was published 2016. And then in the meantime, I believe, what's the timeline? I believe between then and now she was accused. Yeah, so I'm going to say that she's probably, reflects her current state of mind now. So we're going to add this. I suspected as much. Seems like we're looking at the right person. Okay. All right. What we found so far is all good and interesting, but I think we should be searching for something a little more concrete. We have to dig deeper. We have to look more. We have to get it further in. Okay, we got a listener chat. She's texting this Juliet Carrington person who we saw on her timeline. Hey, Cassie. Hi, Jules. Jules is a nickname for Juliet. Cassie, I just wanted to know your post on timelines about this assault. You really shouldn't write something about like that. Really, Jules? You're not going to preach to me about this stupid post, are you? No, I just want to know what's wrong, Cassie. It's nothing. Just between the two of us, as in like I'll keep it a secret, just tell me. I just had to let off steam, you know? It's because of what happened, isn't it? Yeah, and lots of other shit today. Yeah is like, yeah, but it's like so when people text, sometimes they shorten so they don't have to type as much. You know what I did. What happened there wasn't your fault. What's she saying? What did she do? Cassie, you hurt, hold on. You hurt that officer to save me, and you succeeded. You mustn't forget about that. That was so brave. How can it not have been my fault? Juliet, I smashed the freaking skull of a father of 2 children because I lost it. Oh, and she spelled it wrong. Who knows what would have happened if you hadn't stopped him? And this is why you really should remove this post. I feel like an asshole. The worst kind of asshole. I might be free, but not rightly so. I'm not innocent. Oh, Cassie, nobody's innocent. You'll have to let go. Okay, so we've got 2 conflicting data chunks here. So this Juliet is saying you hurt that officer to save me. So she's saying she threw the brick to hit the officer in the head because that officer was going to hurt Juliet. But Cassandra says in the reply, I smashed his skull because I lost it. So which means in a fit of rage, like she got so mad, she just was like, ah. So we have to decide, did she hurt him to save her? Or was it like because she lost it? We get to choose now. I think I would take what she says over what her friend says to try to save her. Her friend is being nice, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean that she is correct to do this. Yeah, let's put this one in. I think that'll be more interesting for the story. What? She openly admitted to such a violent act. This is perfect. We can arrest her and open the investigation again. Okay. We might have just gotten her arrested, which is maybe the goal. Very good work. The intervention team is already on its way. We'll need to wait for confirmation. Next stop, Wonderland, right? So he's making a joke. Because Wonderland is where they go in Alice in Wonderland. Just kidding. Next time, be careful with providing the wrong data, though, okay? In Miss Watergate's case, it was not a problem to get her address with the help of local police due to her former record. Okay. Okay, new session with Juliet. Uh-oh, it's about to make us regret what we said, I bet. I thought about what you said. Maybe you're right. I should take the post down. It'd be better, believe me. She's gonna get, I'm calling it now, she's gonna get arrested while she's texting. Wait a second, somebody's wait a second, somebody's at the door. BRB. This means be right back. Okay, I'll wait. Smiley face. By the way, how is your boyfriend? You're still together? You haven't talked about him at all that much lately. Well, not as much as before. Hello? Are you still there? Cassie? Okay. I'll inquire if it all went well with arresting Miss Watergate. You did a good job in any case. Although we have no proof she involved in the bombing, we might be able to question her. And with that admission of guilt, she will probably serve some time. Okay, I just received confirmation that she is now in custody. Very good work indeed. I'm curious about this thought group, though. Whether they... Oh, God. No, no, no. Take a look at the news. Here we go. Something else happened. 2 dead after second explosion. Uh-oh. Explosive charge... Ooh, okay. I was trying to read it. That is horrible. 2 dead, similar approach, same letter found, so these assaults are connected. And if that wasn't enough already, Miss Watergate was in custody at the time, so that's her out the picture, at least for this attack. Ugh, this complicates matters massively. So much for our simple test case. I need to speak to my superiors. He speaks to his boss. See how we were able to proceed given these extenuating circumstances. So extenuating means circumstances have changed, so we have to adjust how we go about things. It's kind of a weird word. You did good today. You can log off and get some rest by clicking the button on the top right of the desk. Try to get some sleep. I have a feeling the next few days are going to be trying at best. So if something is trying means it's very difficult. We have a little bit of time left before we start the next video, so let's read this. Explosive charge set off at Stelligan University in Bonton. At least 2 people dead, 3 injured. Once again, a letter has been received just before the crime. Half an hour ago, an explosion occurred at the campus of Bonton University. According to latest reports, at least 2 people were killed, with a further 3 injured severely. The area was evacuated immediately. According to yet unconfirmed statements, the city administration office of Bonton received an anonymous letter just minutes prior to the detonation, which again contained the first 3 stanzas of the German folk song, "The Thoughts Are Free." So that's what that guy Goldfels was posting about on his blog, and we know that she's connected to that. So I don't think she's innocent. She at the very least will know something. Exactly like the letter received before the assault on the Freedom Plaza yesterday. We will inform you about any developments on this event as soon as further details are available. Okay. I think that's all there is to read here. He said log off. Yes, finish work. Okay, this is a summary of what we did on our first day. So we've discovered that the assault on Freedom Plaza with the bomb. She's being investigated because she was there. We've discovered the activist group Thought. There was a second assault, and that because Cassandra Watergate was already arrested when that happened, she didn't commit that assault. She's either not the only perpetrator, not the only suspect, or not involved at all. Both are possible. Okay. Episode 2, a place where there is no darkness. Okay. I think we're close enough to the end of this hour. We're going to stop here for now. So yeah, it's a good place to stop. So I hope you had a good time watching this, learn some English. As always, I know this one is a more difficult video game because of all the reading and weird vocab. So if you have any questions about anything, just ask me in the comments, and I can try to explain. I find it best not to look up words in your native language and translate them because it doesn't help you become fluent in English. That's just my opinion, though. You're free to do whatever you want. I think that connecting the ideas directly to the words is better for becoming fluent than connecting them to your native language. That's what I do for Spanish anyways. But anyways, let's everybody. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode of Orwell. Bye.